The big story this week on India Sense is once again the neighborhood. Now, just a week after Nepal faced intense turmoil, after Gen Z protesters shook the country, took to streets and toppled the government, there's fresh trouble that's brewing in India's neighborhood. This time it's the Maldives, where after the Maldivian government passed a contentious media bill which gives it unchecked power, journalists have said, and they're appealing to the country's Supreme Court to repeal these laws, which they say are going to stifle media voice completely, even as steep fines are actually proposed in the bill. The Muizzu government is not taking this lightly. They're detaining anyone who's opposing them, probably learning their lessons from Nepal. But the democracy in Maldives is under siege right now. How much will this impact the entire region? How much will this destabilize Indo-Pacific? Remember, Maldives is a very strategically located country in the entire Indo-Pacific. Could this impact the Muizzu government's future as well? This report has all the answers for you, and then we come back and decode its larger implications for India and the entire region.
A democracy under siege and the press in the process. The Maldives government has passed a controversial new media regulation bill, a sweeping law that allows for hefty fines and the temporary or permanent closure of media outlets. Critics have declared it the war on free speech. The bill bulldozed through Parliament on Tuesday, where President Muizzu's ruling People's National Congress holds a supermajority. This media control bill gives the state unchecked power, giving a new commission loyal to President Muizzu the authority to suspend and shut down media houses without a court order. While the bill seeks to curb defamation and misinformation, it fails to clearly define fake news, with journalists facing fines up to $1,620 and media companies up to $6,485 for violating the law. As the bill passed, chaos erupted inside and outside Parliament. 7 opposition MPs were forcibly removed, protesters detained, and journalists manhandled. Riot police cracked down on spontaneous protests, arresting at least a dozen. While the government defends the law as a tool to protect Islamic values and national interest, activists and media watchdogs are calling it state censorship disguised as regulation. Maldives, now a high-end tourist destination, has had a checkered democratic past. Many now fear the island nation is at risk of rolling back democratic gains made since 2008. When the country transitioned from 3 decades of autocracy under Maumoon Abdul Gayoom to a multi-party democracy. For New Delhi, which recently reset ties with Mali, this crackdown could complicate a critical relationship. Maldives remains a strategic player in the Indian Ocean, but any volatility and instability in the nation may spill over on the entire Indo-Pacific, a risk New Delhi cannot afford to take.
Now, viewers, there's a lot of volatility right now in India's entire neighborhood. There have been regular eruptions that have been happening, unfortunately, with alarming frequency. Bangladesh erupted last year due to student protests, which quickly descended into complete chaos and anarchy. A similar template played out in Nepal, and now, in fact, it's happening in Maldives. Earlier, it took place in Sri Lanka as well. The question that we are asking is, who stands to gain with this volatility? Who benefits from the entire region being in uncertain times? And who makes deeper inroads when civilizational and cultural ties with India get tested during such revolts? The answer to these questions will determine and shape India's relations with our entire neighborhood going forward.